Good morning and welcome to today's webinar, Getting Started with AI and Taking Some Practical First Steps. My name's Chris Daines of Sussex Tech Support. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to run through how we see AI in 2026 being applicable to small businesses, medium-sized businesses here in Sussex. So a few caveats to start with. Whilst we within our company have got people who've been developing software for many years and delivered lots of projects, we don't feel that we are true experts in AI yet. To a certain extent, we feel that we are learning and learning quickly, but the AI tools and the language models haven't been available for so long. So to claim expert status, I think would put us on a bit of a sticky wicket. Also, the subject of AI is huge. There are lots of people talking about doomsday scenarios and nobody having a job anymore in a few years, and what may or may happen. So today we're really just going to focus on how we see AI with the tools available today affecting the working lives of people here in Sussex and small medium-sized businesses in 2026. We're going to share with you our observations of working with our customers and prospective customers. We'll share some use cases around how we're using AI at Sussex Tech Support to develop our own business, and also we'll share some of the insights that we hear from within the industry. So why does AI matter, and what are some of the misconceptions? So AI, when used, we're seeing it can really start to enhance the growth of businesses, empowers people with knowledge that they wouldn't otherwise have. It's allowing companies to streamline flows and processes, getting rid of boring, time-consuming, manual, repetitive tasks. And in other areas, just saving time, allowing you to get to the outcome quicker by using the AI tools to help you with your work. We hear within the industry people saying that AI is very expensive to implement, and also we're hearing also that it's a technology and a solution that's looking for a problem. And there have been some challenges from what we understand in larger businesses where pilot AI studies have failed and AI projects have failed. And we'll look at why that happened a little bit later on. And we're seeing the smarter businesses now are curious because they want to get ahead of their competitors. They want to gain competitive advantage. So they're moving from the stage of sort of fiddling and playing with the free tools through to, okay, how can we adopt AI properly within our company? So where are we now? What's the current state of AI adoption? So we see lots of businesses experimenting and informally using free tools, people using the free tools like ChatGPT, and some examples like that, helping them draft email, perhaps certain marketing activities, and using it as the language model as a more sophisticated Google style search engine, asking it questions, getting responses, asking more questions. We're seeing that obviously the free tools don't integrate with companies' data, so you can't really interrogate the company's data. And also, you've got to be pretty careful when you start to do that you don't give your company data and intellectual property to the publicly available language models. So that's laying things down. And also, working on projects with our existing customers, you have to go at this in quite a structured way. Otherwise, you're not going to get very far. It seems to be the general consensus. And again, we'll touch on that in subsequent slides. So what are the key benefits? Automation can get rid of helping get rid of boring tasks, creating reports, automating invoicing, helping you create content, got writer's block, don't know where to start, drafting emails, improving grammar, fixing things, phrasing things nicely, enhanced customer engagement. This is an interesting one. There is software now which is AI enabled. I'll give you a good example in call center environments or inbound sales environments. CRM systems can actually listen to calls, read the chats, the emails coming in from a customer, and it can help the person working within the business respond accordingly to the to the questions being posed and the way that the way that the person is asking the questions. This is fantastic in businesses when you're training new people. When somebody new comes into your business, they're not going to have great industry expertise or knowledge of what your business does. That comes over a period of time. So if you can accelerate that, and you can avoid bad customer interactions because they don't know the information or they don't know how to handle a call, then that's going to improve your customer service and the customer experience. Data-driven insights. This is one that personally has fascinated me, allowing a great example, a couple of examples. We get a lot of information from our website, and it comes in Excel workbook format, and I download it and I look at the data and it tells me who's been going to the site and all these different statistics. If you feed that into a language model and then just start asking questions about the data, I've been staggered with the output and the information and the actionable insights that it gives me. I wouldn't be able to get anywhere near it with my own knowledge, and wouldn't be able to capitalize on it. And then removing time-consuming manual processes, or double keying, as some people refer to it as. So it's important as a start point to conduct an AI readiness assessment of sorts on your business. As I mentioned, if you don't approach this subject in a structured manner, if your data isn't in a format that can be accessible safely by the AI models, and you don't get the buy-in of your team, then what we hear is AI adoption falls flat fairly quickly. So what do you need to do? You need to make sure that your data that you want your language models and the AI tools to look at is available in a structured manner that the AI models can read and understand. You need to look within your business and try and identify repetitive manual tasks. You need to make sure that you've got the buy-in of the people working within your company. You need to make sure that the software tools that you're using have got a chance of integrating with AI tools. And you need to make sure that you don't inadvertently feed personal identifiable data, customer data, intellectual property into a public AI tool or language model. And that leads us on to the free tools versus the paid AI tools. It's often said, if you consume software in business as a consumer or as a small business, if the product is free, then in effect you are the product. So you potentially, the information that you are putting into the AI model, or the information that you're sharing, or the questions you're posing, are being used to train the model. So you need to be quite careful with that. I talked earlier about the fact that your data needs to be accessible to the AI tools. So a really good example of this is Microsoft Copilot. So Microsoft Copilot is built on top of ChatGPT and other language model sources. And when you take the version of Microsoft Copilot that doesn't come with a subscription, the data sources that it looks at are those available on the public internet. What it can't see is your data held within your email, Word documents, Excel, PowerPoint, your email, your Teams, your documents in SharePoint, your documents in OneDrive. It doesn't have any visibility of your customer data. Therefore, if you want to be able to start interacting with your own data, that's where the subscription model version of Microsoft 365 comes in. And you move it between work mode, where it's looking at your company data, and web, where it's looking at all of the information available on the public internet. And when you've got it in work mode, it's really quite powerful. Little example, a colleague came to me and said, can you remember the person that came and did X for us 4 years ago? The chap that did something to help us. It was a marketing related activity. Couldn't remember who he was, couldn't remember what it was about, but I put Microsoft Copilot into work mode and asked it, can you find any information on the person who helped us with this a few years back? Go. And it came straight back. Took a few seconds, and it came back, and it surfaced 3 emails. Suddenly it was the emails from the person who'd done the piece of work with the details about the piece of work. I was able to share that quickly with the customer. Another example is at the end of the working week, you can ask it to summarize your email exchanges from the week. You can ask it to surface and just say, look, can you give me a summary of our interaction with a particular customer over the last month? And it will surface all of the email exchanges, email trails, any documents that have been shared, presentations that have been given. So really, really quite powerful. And then by going to the subscription-based model where you're paying, this gives you, to a certain extent, the ability to keep your company data private and away from the training the publicly available language models. And if you're dealing with personally identifiable data, customer data, some of your intellectual property, things that you wouldn't want other people to know about, this is key. Okay, so the first steps to implementing AI within your business. What do we do? The first thing to do, and this is based upon our experience of working with prospective existing customers, and what we hear in the industry is you need to start by pinpointing a simple, repetitive, boring task that can be potentially automated. We hear within the industry that AI pilot projects that have been delivered in corporates have failed. And a lot of them have failed because the technical team have taken the technology, they've had to think about what it can do, and they've created an initial solution to a problem that they think the business has. They then roll it out to the business. People working with the business have a look at whatever they've created and they think that's nice, but it doesn't actually really help them with their daily work. They don't use it and it falls flat. So that's why it's super important from the get-go and the outset is to involve your team, because your team will know, because they're doing the work every day, what the boring, repetitive, time-consuming tasks are that are in your business. It might be moving information from one place to another. It might be creating or drafting reports. It might be moving through as an order progresses through the system, there are lots of manual steps that they will know, they will tell you. So if you can identify by sitting down with your team, engaging with them, just find a small first step that you think, okay, we can automate that, or we can, AI might be able to help us with that, then you're probably on the right track. You then need to make sure that you use the right tools to solve the challenge. There are lots of different competing AI tools, and they're all progressing at a phenomenal rate. There's Google Gemini, there's Claude, there's Microsoft Copilot, which has got ChatGPT sitting underneath from OpenAI, and they all do things slightly differently, and that some are better at certain things than others. So it's about getting the right tools. And then you need to set a clearly defined set of goals and measure what you're doing against the goals. So everything you do in business needs to have a return on investment. So if there's no ROI or you don't achieve the goal, then you need to stop. But what we're seeing is if you can follow this process and you can engage with your team and you can get their buy-in and you can solve a problem, and it really helps them, they will then come back and tell you the next problem that needs solving, because they'll just start quietly looking at the various use cases within the business and the things that are irritating and see if you can remove them. So practical use cases, again, sharing your insights, what are we seeing? So within the sales function of a business, the tools are fantastic for researching information around customers or prospective customers. Used properly, it's a very powerful tool when writing a proposal. There's nothing worse than sitting down, starting to write a proposal for a customer. You've got writer's block, you're not quite sure what to write. But with my own experiences, what I've found is it can help you shape the proposal. And something that's super powerful, if you just tell the AI model about your customer, or prospective customer, perhaps you've been to meet them, you've sat down with them, you've had a conversation, maybe you've done some research on LinkedIn, you know their background, you chat, you find their interests. You can tell the language model about those interests and it will start to figure out what they're like. And then you can tell it to write the proposal to appeal to them. So you can make your output applicable to that person. Marketing is the next subject, and we've been using it extensively there. You can use it to help you write blog posts. You can use it to create images and video. You can use it to create social media campaigns and to use the right hashtags. You can use it to create email marketing campaigns and the right content. And it's all saving time. But it's super important not just to let the AI model create your content. You should know your own business, you know your own industry. Use the AI tools to make you superhuman. Use the AI tools to make what you're doing better. Use the AI tools to incorporate into your work the things that you hadn't think about, but don't just take the AI tools output. And this is an interesting one, because for example, the paid subscription of Microsoft Copilot has got a function called memory, and it starts to look at the content that you're producing and it starts to learn your style. So it will move away from you can train the AI tool to sound like you, and we're all unique. We all do things in different ways, but it is easy when you're looking at marketing emails coming in or content that's being fed onto LinkedIn and the internet. You can see the lazy content. I think the term is slop that's just being fired out just from AI without much thought. Within customer services, you can build agents, you can feed information around your business, frequently asked questions into the model so that customers can ask that, or if you've got new employees, they can interrogate it while helping customers. Operational, as we touched on earlier, it's all about looking at areas that are time consuming and boring. It might be moving data from one system to another. It might be where you're and you're having to double key, as people say, the data. It might be where you're having to generate reports. I'm working on an interesting project at the moment with a customer that they have to do regular reporting for their clients. So what we've done is we built an AI agent. We've fed the last couple of years of previous reports into the model that they create. So the AI model knows knows the language of the business, knows the style of the business, knows the output of the business. And then we've also trained the AI model, and this is going back to getting data into the right format. We've made sure that the information from multiple sources within the business that's used to create those reports is structured enough that the AI tool can deliver it. And then instead of staff manually having to go in and pull information from multiple sources to create the reports, the AI engine, the agent, can pull the data in on a monthly basis. It's then been trained on previous reporting outputs, and then it will create the next month's report. And some of the time consuming, some of the time savings are really quite phenomenal as it stacks up. In our own business, writing and also fixing computer code, when we write software for our customers, we integrate systems. So we've been using Claude, which is a particular model which is revered by people, software developers. So we're using it to save time writing the code. We're not using it to write the code from scratch, but we're also using it to debug the code and to fix the code and to refine the code. So there is a challenge. We understand that some people are just totally reliant on AI models to generate the code from scratch. And that can be a little bit dangerous because if you don't really know, you don't really understand from first principles what it's doing, it's very difficult to fix things when it goes wrong. And then the finance function, everybody loves a good spreadsheet, everybody loves reporting. So again, you can train the model to create financial reports, insights, pull information out of financial packages, reporting packages, and interrogate the data by asking questions just in a natural format, and get to an output much more quickly and perhaps without the use of external consulting resources than you could if you were working on your own. So the risks and how to manage them. It's super important that you don't feed personally identifiable data, company data, or information into the public models. You need to make sure that your data is encrypted and that it's secure and you know where it is. It's important to remember that the AI models, when they respond to a query, you can ask the same model the same query twice and it'll give you a slightly different output. So depending upon how the algorithms work, it's not a perfect world. So you need to be very, very careful when you are starting to rely on AI. It's there to enhance, not replace. So if you use it to create a report or respond to a set of queries, you need to check it. Is that right? Because if it's not right and it starts giving false information, then it's going to have a negative impact. You need to make sure that the way you're using it and the way you'll protect your data adheres to, GDPR and other regulations, perhaps industry specific. And also, you need to make sure that the AI model and the outputs that it's giving, and because it is your brand, it is your company, reflects carefully social biases, and monitor the output for fairness. Again, you don't want to end up in trouble or falling foul of regulation. So building an AI-friendly culture. As I alluded to earlier, it's really, really important to get the buy-in of your team. If you thrust the technology upon them and you tell them to use it and it doesn't help them, it's going to have a negative impact. Automatically, they will talk, people talk to people and be saying, well, it just doesn't work. It's not helping us. So that's no good. So you need to get people around the table and you need to get their buy-in from the beginning. You need to ideally deliver some training and some education so that your staff understand how to use AI, some of the pitfalls where it shouldn't be used. And it's probably a good idea as well to create an acceptable use policy within your company for AI, because you wouldn't want somebody working for your business to use AI to do something, to create, I don't know, image or a video or whatever it might be, that's and then it goes out to customers and lands you in hot water. Look within your business for the AI champions. Who are the people who are enthused? Who are the people who are asking the questions? Make sure you keep those people involved. Get those people to G the other people up. Get those people involved with the projects, and then help you move to the next one. And do it. Do things slowly. If you try and go big bang, and you try and solve too many problems, then again, from what we hear and the feedback we hear is you're likely to fail. So just start small, engage with your team, find a first very tangible thing that you'd like to solve, use the tech, use the right tools, use it carefully, solve the problem well, get it adopted within the business, wait for the feedback, refine it, get everybody back around the table, and then look for the next thing. So that's it. I hope you found that useful. As I said, we don't feel that we're experts, but we are literally learning every week. And it's fascinating working with prospective customers and customers when we see their use cases and how they're looking to implement AI. It's widely thought that those that do use the model are going to get these technologies will get ahead of competitors that don't. So if you are interested in having a conversation with me and the rest of the team here at Sussex Tech about your business and how you might start your journey, then please drop me a note via email. Thanks very much.